Remember how I said once in a while that politics and technology are going to collide and I'm going to have no choice but to talk about politics? This is one of those times. So brace yourselves. I have no choice, but what CNN is saying about the whole issue with WallStreetBets and what's going on with GameStop and other stocks and how they're trying to demonize WallStreetBets, this ain't it, Chief, and I got to say something. Get your horses ready. You're going to need to ride those stallions for this video.
Developers.
Skip it up and that up. This video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. So, gee, how do you pick which internet service provider you choose? You don't pick them because every region, it's either a monopoly or duopoly. You have no choice. You choose the one that either gives you access to the internet or you don't have access to the internet. Yay, monopolies are awesome. Well, due to that, ISPs or internet service providers, they could throttle your data. They could put data caps. You don't have a choice. So you have to deal with the anti-consumer practices they push on you. Many of those ISPs log your internet activity and sell it to ad companies. So if you've been a naughty boy or girl and going to naughty sites, your ISP's letting other people know what you've been doing. This is why, to prevent my ISP from seeing my internet activity, I use ExpressVPN. All right, so what is ExpressVPN? It's a simple app for your computer or smartphone that encrypts all your network data and tunnels it through what's called a VPN server. It's secure so that your ISP can't see a damn thing that you're doing on the internet. Just think about it real hard. How much of your life is on the internet? Sadly, every site you go to, every video that you watch, message that you send to your friends, it's all getting tracked by your ISPs and Lord knows who else, who can then sell that info to make money off of it. And that's the reason why I recommend ExpressVPN. It's the absolute best way to hide your online activity from your ISP. You just download the app, tap the button on your device, and you're protected. It's that simple. And ExpressVPN is doing all this without slowing down your internet connection like other VPN services. That's why it's rated the #1 VPN service by Wired and CNET. So for the love of God, stop handing over your information to ISPs and other corporations who mine your data and sell it to other companies for profit. Protect yourself with a VPN I trust to keep me private on the internet. Go to expressvpn.com/RTU to get an extra 3 months of the service free. That's expressvpn.com/RTU to get an extra 3 months free. So as I make this video, I need to give a disclaimer first, make it abundantly clear. I have virtually no experience in investing in stocks. I have invested some money in AMC, but if I end up losing that money or making nothing, it's okay. I didn't bet the farm. I didn't I see other people on Reddit and Facebook saying, oh, if you only live once, I'm not going to pay rent this month. Don't do that to buy stocks, for Christ's sake. Your chance of becoming a millionaire off of this is pretty much the same as the lottery. What are you doing? Don't do it. I'm not saying don't invest in these stocks. If anything, nothing else, it sends a message to these pieces of crap over in Wall Street and these hedge funds that they can't get away with manipulating the markets like this. But don't do this. Don't invest in these stocks expecting that you'll be able to buy a house in the Hamptons next week, because I'm going to give you some bad news. The chances of that happening are 0.0000000000000000000. You getting the hint? 0.00000000001%. You have a better chance of getting struck by lightning on a sunny day than that happening. Are we clear? And are we clear that I'm not a financial advisor? Okay, I made it clear, real clear. Let's continue. So what the hell happened with WallStreetBets and GameStop? I'm going to give you the super Cliff Notes version because there's a lot to get into with this CNN article, and I don't want this video to be 20 minutes long. Basically, a hedge fund came out and said, yeah, we know GameStop's doomed. We're going to short their stock. Now, what is shorting stock? I'm getting a definition of it here, and then I'll explain it in layman's terms because I'm a layman too. Short selling is when an investor borrows shares and immediately sells them, hoping to buy them back later at a lower price, return them to the lender, and pocket the difference. So a seller will borrow shares, say they think whatever company, AT&T, for example. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with AT&T, but I'm just giving an example. They think these hedge funds think that AT&T is doomed. So say their stock, this is all as if stuff, the investor will borrow the stock at $20 a share. Okay. Then they'll go and sell those stocks to a broker at that price. And then if they think the stock is going to plummet, okay, like say AT&T stock goes down to $5 a share. They'll buy the stocks back at $5 a share and pocket $15 a share, which is pretty damn profitable. There's a downside to shorting stocks, though, is that say for some reason that stock surges and takes off and it doesn't, and the company doesn't implode, there's no limit to how much money a hedge fund or anyone shorting a stock can lose. So if that stock you expect to go down to $5 a share actually shoots up to $200 a share, you are indebted now you have to pay the difference. So you bought those stocks at 20, now they went up to $200 a share. You have to pay $180 to buy those stocks back, so you could lose a shit ton of money. If I explained anything wrong and there's financial investors in the description, please let me know. But that's basically the gist of it that I got. Now, keep in mind, I'm a guy that could barely count to 10 using his fingers. So just, again, not financial advice. Well, anyway, it came out that these hedge funds were going to short GameStop stock. They basically announced that they were going to do, GameStop screwed. We're going to short their stock. So there was a Reddit group called WallStreetBets that got wind of this and said, oh yeah, screw you. We're gonna rally and buy a bunch of GameStop stock so we screw you over. Because really, if you think about it, at the end of the day, when these hedge funds do this, it's market manipulation. Now all of a sudden you got the little guy who is in a way manipulating the market, which has been totally legal, and it'll be really deliciously ironic if they make it illegal now, because it's not the bigwigs in Wall Street making the money, doing the same speculating that Wall Street does all the time. They manipulate markets all the time. It's like a casino in New York City. Seriously, but now a bunch of 20-somethings on a subreddit make money and everyone's pissed off and is crying for regulation. Yeah, that's pretty much, and there's other stocks too. Like I said, I invested in AMC. We'll see what happens with that. Probably not much, but what the hell? You only live once, YOLO, right? Well, due to all this and due to the fact that people are making money that shouldn't be, you got to realize these wealthy elites a lot of times donate to political campaigns, and there's corporations that give a ton of money or own some of the cable news networks out there or mainstream news networks out there that are not happy about this. They are not happy that people are becoming rich and making money that shouldn't be. So what they're doing right now with what happened on WallStreetBets is comparing it to Trumpism. There's literally an entire article here by CNN. I'm going to go back and forth between reading it and giving you my take. Just holy crap, man. This is like psyops, and this is like a brainwashing article if I've ever seen one. Let's go, because it's incredible. At the core of Donald Trump's angry populist appeal was and is the sentiment, the elites think they know better than you. Much as Donald Trump was one of the elites or is one of the elites, I do agree with what he said there. They think they can tell you how to live and what to believe. But guess what? We the people are smarter than the elites, which I find funny that the guy supposedly a millionaire is saying that the elites think we're better. Like, dude, you are an elite. Like, this is why I never understood the diehard MAGA thing. But anyway, Trump elucidated this argument in its purest form at a rally in North Dakota in 2018 when he went on this riff. I meet these people, they call them the elite. These people, I look at them and say, that's elite. We got more money. We got more brains. The people you were talking to, not brains, but they don't have more money. We got better houses. That's not true. Apartments. We got nicer boats. Maybe you do, Donnie. We're smarter than they are, and they say they're elite. We're the elite. You're the elite. We're the elite. Which, side note, that's condition. You're smart. You're fantastic. So you know that everything that I am saying is true. That I see that all the time. All right. And again, this, I don't want to make this about Trump, but the fact that CNN is using what happened with WallStreetBets and saying, oh, it's because of Trumpism. You see what they're trying to do. They're trying to demonize the whole thing with WallStreetBets. So let's continue. So this is still Donald Trump talking at this Dakota rally. So I said the other day, let's keep calling these people. And let's face it, they've been stone cold losers. That is true. The elite. The elite. So let them keep calling themselves the elite. But we're going to call ourselves. And remember, you work harder, but you are indeed smarter than them. Let's call ourselves from now on the super elite. We're the super elite. Again, you see those seeds we're planting. He's making people feel good. It gets that dopamine. It gets that adrenaline going where it's like, wow, thank you. You're making me feel better. I'm not a psychologist, but I know how shit works to a degree when it comes to that. But anyway, they continue. What made Trump's argument so potent politically speaking is that he wasn't just calling out the elites. He was saying that average Joes needed to rise up and actually show them how wrong they were. That voting him for him was the best way to express their anger and frustration, which their anger and frustration with the middle class being stomped out is justified. Not that Trump wasn't a fake populist, but anyway. With the condescension of their alleged betters, Donald Trump offered himself up as a collective middle finger to the elites, and he won. Maybe because our government is bought by corporations and because we made lobbying legal, which is basically legal bribery, so they do the bidding for corporations and not for the people that voted them in office, so the middle class gets stifled. The middle class doesn't get Medicare for all. The middle class doesn't get a livable wage. The middle class, like even if you have insurance, a lot of times your insurance can deny you a procedure that you need because a doctor that works at these health insurance companies sits behind a desk and says, nah, you don't need it. So if you want the surgery, you're going to have to pay $50,000 out of pocket. Like, I don't know. I wonder why they feel stifled. Not that Donald Trump was the person to believe in that he would cure that, but I wonder why they feel stifled. All of which brings me to the current seemingly inexplicable stock surge of GameStop, the video game seller that has made its money over the years thanks to its locations in malls. The origins of the surge are in the prevalent belief among Wall Street sharps. Watch how they start to compliment and make it like, these guys are the professionals. Leave it to them. Stay away. Don't invest. Don't make their legal gambling and manipulation of the market. Like, don't question it. These guys know what they're doing because they know that 95%, if not more, of the people reading this have no idea. I don't know how the stock market works. I invested a little bit to show support. You know what I'm saying? Professional investors that GameStop stock, even before this recent spike, was overvalued. After all, shopping malls are in long decline. Malls are doomed, which is 25% will be gone in 5 years. Read a headline in CNN 2017 that has only been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah, that's true. As a result of the belief among the pro-investor crowd that GameStop was essentially doomed, they began shorting the stock, essentially betting on it to fail. This happens all the time to a variety of stocks with very little fanfare. It is the way of the modern stock market. So you see what they're doing again, like this is the status quo. This is the way it is. Just there's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong that there's manipulation of the market. It's nothing wrong that the market was purposely deregulated to the point in 2008 that we had the great economic recession because junk mortgages and loans were being sold to people who had no credit, who they knew were high risk, and then they were taking I don't even understand the whole mathematical calculation, but they were taking those junk loans and basically making them as secure as treasury bonds. So when they sold them off, they seemed like they were AAA rated, but the money they were based on was actually, the money and loans they were based on were actually shit. I'm way oversimplifying it, and it may be a little off the mark, but that's what happened. These son of a bitches manipulate the market all the time, but now that there's speculation that's not being done by the bigwigs and people who aren't supposed to be getting rich are getting rich, now they're pissed, and now like CNN is like, hey man, leave it to the professionals. Don't dip your toe in that water. Don't do it. Except that this time, amateur investors decided to revolt against the pros. Using Reddit, a subreddit known as WallStreetBets, the amateurs began a coordinated effort of buying GameStop stock to drive its price higher and higher. It's worth noting that Reddit was also a gathering spot for some of the most, here we go, here is the brainwashing. They're just like Trump supporters. They're just like MAGA. Be careful. Be careful. Look what they say here. It's worth noting that Reddit was also a gathering spot for the most ardent Trump supporters in 2016. So now they're trying to make it like Reddit is another Parler. And they're trying to make it like, this is what goes on Reddit. Maybe we should do something about Reddit. I'm just saying, the effort to screw the pros. Just listen to the wording. People with a short position on a stock that is surging have major vulnerabilities the higher the stock goes. Who gives a shit? Hey, you knew that going in. These hedge funds knew what the risk is. Sucks for them. We're playing by the same rules they do. So who gives a shit? Got an unexpected boost from none other than iconoclast in chief and Tesla founder Elon Musk. Now watch what they do here, who tweeted GameStonk with a link to the WallStreetBets subreddit on Tuesday. They have this in quotes here. Musk has also been a longtime critic of social media censoring and was a prominent COVID-19 skeptic, which I called him out about. Sound like anyone else you know? So look what they're doing again. They're tying it to the whole MAGA, what happened on January 6th at the Capitol. They're trying to make it like this is the same group. Am I in that group of people? I invested in these stocks to screw over the shorters. Am I in that group? My MAGA? When I called out the whole MAGA bullshit, when it happened on January 6th, where I lost, my subgrowth since then has stalled because people can't stand me because of my take, because I was fully against what happened there on January 6th, where Trump failed so hard with COVID, and there were many other things I didn't like, but that was the straw that broke the camel's back, that I actually, for the first time ever, went out to vote in an election to vote him out of office. Am I MAGA? Is that the reason why I invested in these stocks? To screw over the short sellers? You're going to say that I'm that, CNN? Probably, because you want people to identify me as that. Unbelievable. So basically what they're saying is that the people that are part of WallStreetBets or got in on this are similar to Trump supporters because they want to try to demonize them. And there's no question that the populist revolt has worked for GameStop stock. On December 28th, it was trading at $20.99 a share. On Wednesday, it was a shade under $335 a share. And this part cracks me up here. Yeah, I'm basically reading the whole article, but what's the end game for the GameStop surgers? Like, now that they have proven the point, like they're talking down, like this is what people on Wall Street do all the time. This is what stockbrokers do all the time. They manipulate the fucking market. They manipulate the market. What's the difference? What's the difference with what these 20-something and 30-something, because I'm in there. What is the difference with what we're doing on WallStreetBets? What's the difference? Nothing. Their end game is to make money. The end game is from WallStreetBets is to make money and to prove a point of what these assholes do to manipulate the market. So what's the end game for GameStop surgers? Like, now that they've proven that point, that they can take a stock that the pros have declared moribund and revive it, at least for a moment, what do they do now? Make money? I don't understand what like, it's like, all right, geniuses, you got us. What are you going to do? What are you going to do now? That's literally what they're saying. Like, I'm not even paraphrasing or trying to be melodramatic here or take what they say. What are you going to do now? All right, you made your point. Now what? Think you could play with the big boys? I don't think so. Anyway, continuing. Because they really don't believe that GameStop is suddenly the new Amazon or Apple or Google. It's still mostly, which is true, it's still mostly a business that derives its value from brick and mortar stores and malls, which again is not exactly a big growth area in the coming years. It's not about that, though. It's not about that. The point is that there's no real point beyond showing up the pros. You mean showing up the people that manipulate the market and probably did some questionably ethical things that border on being illegal throughout the years, which again helped cause the 2008 stock market crash, proving to them that they aren't as smart as they think they are and that they don't have the ability to control everything. Yeah. They just have the most money in border government, so they can get away with things that should be illegal. It's not that they're pros. It's not that they're smarter. They're just in a position that they can control and keep the market deregulated. It's so funny you see people on CNBC now crying, the same people that would be like, we don't need it anymore. We need to keep the markets deregulated. We need it. Now all of a sudden people that aren't supposed to be making money, we need regulation on the markets. We need regulation. I thought last year you were saying you didn't need regulations, you shady piece of crap. What happened? Oh, because you're not benefiting from the lack of regulation. Now all of a sudden you need regulation. The hypocrisy, the blatant hypocrisy is disgusting and delicious at the same time, because you really see the true colors when things like this happen of these people. They're garbage. They're garbage. They have no morals. They have no moral compass. They would screw you over. There's a billion Martin Shkreli's out there. They're hiding in darkness. Okay, which again has its roots in Trumpism. The entire notion of Trump's candidacy and presidency was stick it to the elites. And then, there wasn't really a plan beyond that. The screw job was the point. But why do people want to stick it to the elites? Is it because we have an oligarchy in the United States where it's socialism for the rich and screw everybody else? Maybe that's why. Maybe people want to screw over the elites because the system is rigged in their favor. Just wondering. I mean, don't you think this was building up for way before even Trump was a thought to be president? This was building up for years. People were angry. They felt like they were not being heard. And then you get a fake populist like Trump that comes in and who pretends to hear them, and they end up thinking he's like a demigod because people feel so oppressed because their government isn't listening to them. When someone even pretends to listen, they're like, oh my God, he's my savior. Sounds familiar to a time from many, many years ago that I won't bring up here, that most of you will have the common sense to know what I'm talking about without saying it. That strategy, if that even is a word that can be look how they're trying to dumb down what's being done. I will hold on. It makes me want to hold on to my stock even if it's worth nothing, just to piss these people off. That strategy, if that is even a word that can be associated with what this is, listen to how they're talking down these condescending assholes, has massive limits. Sticking it to the man will only get you so far. It's not a solution to any problem. It's just a way to express frustration, anger, and feeling of helplessness. So they're not allowed to do that. Why are they feeling helpless? Why are they feeling angry? Should it just be like basically what CNN is saying here? And I literally just read you most of the article, if not the last sentence, is just stay in your lane. Let the powerful people be powerful and you shut up and stop complaining. And they're trying to make you digest it as, oh, these are the pros. Stay out of this. You don't know what you're doing. Now, first off, the first thing I'll say to that is, yes, please don't be like some of the people I see in these forums that are like, all right, I'm not going to pay my rent. I'm going to empty out my savings. And if I'm homeless, who cares? But I'm hoping that on Monday I'll be a millionaire. You're not going to be. Don't do that. That's dumb, because they win with that. You losing literally your shirt is what they want. Don't put that much money in. That's insane. And I'll say the last sentence here. Think of it this way. Giving someone the finger might make you feel good in the moment, but it doesn't solve anything. But here's the thing about it. This may change the dynamic of the way the stock market works. People who never had an advantage before may have that advantage now. This isn't just about GameStop. This isn't just about AMC or whatever the case may be. This is about people being tired of a system being rigged against them and using the same exploits in this rigged system, these legal exploits, to benefit them. And now, because it's benefiting people that it usually doesn't benefit, do you think if this kind of speculation happened and there was some hedge fund that made a ton of money off of this, do you think there would be an article about this right now? Oh, these are rich people just enriching themselves even more. Shh, don't say anything. They also work for XYZ Corporation, who invests a lot in CNN or MSNBC or Fox News. Shh. We want them to keep getting money. There are paymasters. Don't say anything. But if people that aren't supposed to be getting money are becoming millionaires, screwing over the hedge funds that we're associated with, oh, we'll make 20-page articles crying about it. We'll go on CNBC and MSNBC and CNN saying we need more regulation in the stock market, even though these are the same goddamn people who in the past before said, oh, deregulation is key, open free market. Now, because they're not making the money, they don't want an open free market anymore. The iron, it's so delicious, man. It's so delicious. And look, if I don't make a penny off of this, that's fine. If I don't make a penny off of it, I wasn't stupid. I made sure that I didn't empty out my bank account like I see people do, and I invested a small amount of money. But hopefully this is the beginning of something big where we don't just sit there and having people control us like marionettes while they manipulate the system to get more money while we end up staying broke. Times are changing, and I'm very, very happy with this. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one. Hey, if you enjoy my content, consider becoming a Review Tech USA member. I'll have a link below in the description. I live stream now on this channel all the time, and it gives you access to cool emoticons to use as well while I live stream. Again, link below in the description. Thank you for your continued support.